Hi everyone. It's great to see so many people here. I wish I was part of the session all day today and this afternoon, but unfortunately I have other things to take care of. I hope you've been enjoying the festival so far, and I hope you partake in the rest of the festival. I think we're at the midway point right now, so there's plenty more screenings to see, so please take advantage of those. I'll also say get your tickets for everything for the rest of the festival that you're planning to attend, please. A lot of things are soon to go rush, I think. So very happy to have and host this event here. We're a very proud partner of IIF. And when we met last September in Montreal, it really just, I mean, from a personal point of view, it really captivated and reflected a lot of what I'm personally interested in. And I think what we're going to be doing through this project that I'll talk about for 2017. As a sci-fi and comic book nerd, lifelong, I've always been really interested, obviously, in science fiction, in the future, in parallel realities, multiverse. And growing up, I was always really curious about sort of what my grandparents, what my older ancestors would have thought about the future. I think in terms of when we talk about Indigenous futurism, very often it's about omens and prophecies. Most of them are didactic for how we live today. But I was actually really concerned about a linear conception of time, a specific place in the future. Because we had that with the Seven Generations teachings. I mean, there was some understanding of linear time. I mean, there wasn't an understanding of linear time. So this really kind of all coalesced a couple years ago when we started to think about Canada 150. And sort of what, if anything, Imaginative was going to do to commemorate this year. And I vacillated. I thought, okay, no, I'm not going to do anything. That's going to be sort of, the subversion. But I wanted to do something. And, contemplating 150 years from 2017, looking back, it's not something necessarily I wanted to do. So the idea struck me that I'll do a film commission set in 2167. It references a particular time, but it very actively moves us to the future in a very positive, empowering way. Initially, we had thought about it being a film commission, and we were moving forward with it initially as a film commission. But then back in May of this year, Nyla is Nyla?
She was here.
She was here.
Yeah.
So Nyla, who was here earlier from Pinguac, she brought over a Google Cardboard to the office. And it was my first...
What it is.
Oh, okay. Oh, I should have brought one. So Google Cardboard is just this device you can buy for like 20 bucks. It's a flat piece of cardboard that's, you just tear off the bits that you need to tear off, and you fold it up into a visor that you actually slip your smartphone into. And the content you see is work that was created by a 360 camera. So it's VR, but in a very accessible way using your smartphone. So this device, literally with the apps that you get, it's split screen. And when you look at it through this visor, it creates the virtual environment, the 360 environment. So the first thing that I saw is I was hanging from a helicopter flying over Manhattan. And you could see everything around you. It was really, really extraordinary. And I think for anyone who's creative or anyone who's like looking at these things, the first few seconds you put this thing on, your synapses start firing and you have loads of ideas about what you can do for this. And within seconds I thought, this is what I want 2167, the project, to be, to create these virtual 360 environments set in the year 2167. We have partnered with, of course, these guys, and a couple of other partners that I'm not sure we're supposed to talk about yet. But the idea is to identify 6 Indigenous filmmakers, artists, to create these works set in 2167. And as with all our commissions, often we start from a starting point, but we really give carte blanche to the artists to create this environment. Because I'm really fascinated about what our Indigenous media artists will do when given the task and the challenge of looking so far ahead. I don't know if it's going to be dystopic. I don't know if it's going to be a return to nature. I don't know if it's going to be just something purely conceptual, but that's so exciting. And I mean, it's just such a perfect pairing, I think, with this particular project that we're talking about specifically. And the partners involved are all very excited. The artists are all very excited. I'm not exactly sure when we're going to be doing a public announcement about it. The festival kind of got in the way in terms of planning. But the idea is to have these accessible. So in 2 years, when we plan to launch this, when the works will be done, the conceptualization and research phase will happen in sort of what, November-ish, hopefully until spring of next year, with then development for about a year after that in terms of the actual production of the pieces. But I think it's an incredibly exciting thing, and it's a new medium. I was at a VR conference in Toronto a couple of weeks ago. There's a local meetup organization called We Are Wearables, and they focus on it specifically, so this is about wearable technology. And it was really mind-blowing, and one of the things, there were a couple of things that people constantly said. So one of them was, this is a new medium entirely. We don't quite know how to tell stories. There were people showing examples of storyboards, and they were like 360-degree storyboards rather than just sort of panels. Different ideas about scripts. So everyone is really kind of making it along, and everyone, there were about 4 or 5 people that said, well, this is the Wild West. And I was like, well, there were Indians in the Wild West. We have to make sure that we have an Indigenous presence in VR. And also, too, everyone in the panel, the vast majority of them were male, were of European descent. And I think it's really important, to the artists that we are selecting. I think there's a diversity from cultures, from regions, for gender as well. And I think that's it. Is there anything you should prompt me to speak to?
I think
You're not allowed to tell any of the artists' names yet.
Yeah.
So that took off a whole 5 minutes now.
Did it? But any kind of questions? Has anyone actually experienced VR? So we can, exactly. Downstairs in the arcade on the 2nd floor, there are demonstrations with the cardboard visor, but also with Oculus Rift. So one of the things that we, as sort of the project's organizers, have to yet figure out is what device are we actually going to have these available for. The Oculus comes out next year, and they reckon it's going to be about 500 Canadian. There are actually sort of quite a large number of apps, 360 VR apps that are available now that you can use with these things, and that certainly is a much more accessible way to engage with this work than with a $500 device that you have to buy. It's still kind of cumbersome. But for us, I think one of the messages that was very clear from this conference I was at a couple weeks ago was that in about a year from now, there's going to be such a high demand for content on this platform. So it's a great time, I think, for us to really put this out there, and like with film, have Indigenous people reflected in this medium right from the get-go. Archer.
I'm also a member of the House of Simiti from Mamalakula, which is called Village Island, BC. So I want to put up my hands to you, Jason, personally, and to the Imaginative Festival. I have watched Imaginative become not just the biggest presenter of Aboriginal new media, but now a commissioner of Aboriginal new media. Look around this room. This is a small gathering. And I look around this room and I say, this is because of the work that you guys are doing, and thank you for being the biggest promoters of new media from Aboriginal Indian country on the planet, as far as I can tell. Hey.
Thank you very much. That's really touching to me, and I'm not going to cry this time.
We'll do it again.
But part of that is really because we try to make the festival in the best way we can reflective of what's being created by you guys. And I'm really excited about VR and the 360 camera. These guys can probably share some more light in terms of the technical aspects of things. But check out the demonstration. So Nyla's been doing the demonstration downstairs. It's every day. So today, tomorrow, and Sunday. The dates are actually in the catalog, so you can check that out. But it actually, when you first experience it, it is something so new. And you just think, if I were sort of commissioned to create one of these VR pieces, and I'm not, maybe I'll do my own thing. You just think of being immersed in an environment that you can look every which way around. It could be a film, and you could be surrounded by a nation of people. It can be conceptual, it can be artistic, it can be some kind of linear, choose-your-own-adventure type narrative, because that's what they're trying to figure out right now is how to incorporate all this different technology, including technology that maybe it's scary to some, that you can read where you're looking as sort of like the clicking option to head in a certain direction. Or it's incorporating sensor gloves. You can actually interact in these environments and pick things up and open doors and move things, or swim, or whatever it is. So I guess as a parting word, I mean, we're at the ground floor, I think, in this medium in a lot of ways. Nyla Inukshuk, there was a Playback article about her calling her the queen of VR. So she really is at the forefront of these. I mean, she was doing something with Philip Glass, the composer. She was brought down to Ecuador to film the Pope, giving like this whatever popes do to like 100,000 people.
Benediction?
Yeah, benediction. I was going to say eulogy, but that's the wrong word. So yeah, so I mean, engage with it and sort of, I think, once you all try it, you're going to each have 100 different ideas about the work that you can do. And I can't wait to see that, and I can't wait to have that at the festival going forward. But we'll be releasing more information about 2167 as it comes. We're not sure yet exactly if we're going to go for Canada 150 money, because that puts it under a certain umbrella. And for us, part of it is sovereignty, not just now, but sovereignty looking forward, and sovereignty in this virtual space as well. So we'll see. And also, the Canada 150, it beholds you to a certain umbrella and a certain kind of presentation window.
Have you been talking to the people at OCAD? And I was just looking around if there was anybody else from OCAD. Is there anybody here?
Ryan's here.
Ryan's here.
Ryan.
No, we haven't. We haven't yet. This is still really like it's still so much in its infancy.
They're doing they're organizing or coordinating a mass Art 150 project where it's going to be like a series of courses in all the art schools across the country where they're going to be doing projects, which can be any kind of project, and centering courses around it. Do you know about this, Ryan, or is it
Called Art Tracks.
Yeah, Art Tracks 150.
Okay, great. This is with there was a foundation or something that was looking particularly after that, wasn't it? Something, yeah.
There's going to be an announcement next week. Curators have been selected.
That's right.
It's a national project.
Yeah. Well, OCAD's a partner with Imaginative in different things, so definitely. I mean, if anyone's interested in speaking more about this, you can talk to Jason Scaminati or myself, and we'll be putting together more information as we firm it up. Cool.
Great.
Yeah.
Anything else? Moment? Okay, great. Thank you, Jason.
Thanks, guys.